Hello and welcome to a video where I am going to review a game. This may seem like a weird concept to many of you, but don't worry, it happens all the time. Today I'm going to be looking at Pixeljunk Shooter Ultimate for the PS4. It's made by the company that makes Pixeljunk, obviously, and it's just a really great game. So yeah, let's jump into gameplay. This is a side-scrolling adventure shooter exploration game. There's a lot of categories for it. You are the spaceship, and you are trying to rescue these miners that were on a mission that went horribly wrong. There are collectibles, there's hidden treasures, there's hidden caves. There's multiplayer, which is a great feature to have in this game because I'll get into that later. And yeah, it's just the game is really good. It keeps you interested for a long time, which side-scrolling shooters don't really do that for me, but this one actually did capture my interest. Now the controls are a little weird. This is probably the one of the biggest problems I have with the game. The way that the controls are set up, you're using both thumbs to explore, where one is the speed and the other one is the rotation of the vehicle. Which, I mean, that's normal to a bunch of old school arcade games, which many people have played. I was not one of those people, so it is a little weird to me. I did get used to it after a while. If you look at some of the clips, you may see from the earlier parts of the video that it's pretty bad, and then towards the later part of the video, it's all right. You have to pull the trigger every time to shoot, which is not a problem, and then you hold the trigger to do seeking missiles, which it's a really good feature. I like that because it just destroys any enemy that I've come across. Other than that, the controls are really nice. You can't move the camera around at all, besides where your vehicle is, so that does kind of inhibit your ability to look at the puzzles. So you're kind of going in blind to a couple of things. But other than that, the controls, they're a little bit weird, but once you get used to them, that's fine. Now, the challenge level of this game, I would rate, on a scale from 1 to 10, I would rate it at about a 7. It's not too challenging to where you're not going to get all the puzzles and you're going to fail epically at every level, although I did. The beginning levels anyway, because I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, the challenge is more in solving the puzzles and figuring out how to dispatch of enemies while watching out for lava and not burning the scientists with the lava, which has happened to me a lot, I'm going to admit. Yeah, it's challenging for the right reasons though. It challenges you to think about what the puzzle is also while dodging enemies, but it doesn't really sell the enemies, and I'll get to that in a later part. But yeah, the challenge is definitely there, but it definitely does keep you interested. Now the art is what really got me into this. Once I loaded up the game and I saw the loading screen, the art was just it amazed me. Like I wasn't really a big fan of art in games until I want to say The Last of Us, and I know that's a horrible way to play video games, but normally I play video games for the story, so I don't normally look at art. I listen and develop with the characters, and have to relate to the character to actually like the game. But this one, after The Last of Us, art really got to me somehow, and it just makes the game so much better for me now. But that's what I really liked about this game, is the art is really, really nice. The colors are very vivid. The lava is really bright. The water is, you can feel like it's almost cold. Like that's just how good it is. The art, and another thing I want to talk about is the exploration. The exploration in this game is amazing. Every level is different. There is no level that is even remotely close to being the same. There's hidden tunnels everywhere. The collectible gems that are in the game are scattered around the map, but they're in the specific spots that make them look natural. And that's going back to the art. it makes it look good, and it also, you know, helps with exploration because, you know, the hidden caves, the gems that are scattered around, you know, figuring out where to go and how to avoid this lava, and, you know, how to use this water to destroy this lava and not killing the miners is it's really really nice. And the last thing I want to talk about is the enemies. This is the other issue I have with this game. The enemies just, they don't do anything. Most of the enemies, you know, spawn on walls, and either they shoot at you from the wall, which you can easily dodge and shoot them, or they just come straight towards you and you can easily shoot them. And I know that's not the point of this game. I mean, it does say shooter in the title, but that's not the point of this game. The point of this game is exploration and, you know, figuring out the puzzles and how to save the miners. But the enemies just, I don't know, that I could not wrap my head around why the enemies were so easy to destroy. It, it, I haven't played super far into the game, but I'm hoping that once it gets later into the game, there are different types of enemies, and the difficulty level goes up a little bit at least. Because right now it just seems like you're skating by enemies. But I mean, that's beside, like, it's such a minor point that it won't affect your gameplay at all. So overall gameplay experience, I'll have to give this one an 8 out of 10. And that's because I didn't give it a 10 because of the controls and the enemies. But other than that, the game is fantastic, the art is fantastic, the exploration is fantastic. The controls can be a little better, but that's just because I'm not used to them. And the enemies could be a little bit more difficult. So, yep, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And yeah, you should definitely go play it. If you're not on PlayStation, I feel really bad for you. I'm not saying to go illegally download it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, so if you have a PlayStation 4, you have PS Plus, definitely pick this game up. It's definitely worth it.